So if you look at our ingredients that we have here, you look across the spectrum, we've got some sweet Vidalia onions, fresh ginger, soy sauce, Asian pear, a couple of garlics here, some toasted sesame oil, and brown sugar. These together are the symphony of a sweet Korean style barbecue marinade. Now, one of the things that I like to do with any of my barbecue is add some kind of a wine or a beer to enhance the flavor. In this particular case with the ginger, the Asian pear, the brown sugar, I'm thinking about adding a beer that has nice malted caramel notes. This is Old Busthead's VIXEN Irish Style Red Ale. Old Busthead is a local brewery. They're not an official sponsor of this video, but I really like them. They have excellent quality, they're local, and they got great customer service. So I would like to use their beer in this particular recipe specifically for the caramel notes that it provides. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to prep these and get it ready to assemble into a marinade. So I'm gonna do that and I'm gonna be back with you in just a moment. All right, one thing that I like to do when I'm making this marinade in particular is I like to toast the aromatics. An aromatic is a component of a dish that is your base foundation of spice, natural spice ingredients, things that will bring that natural freshness and natural spice flavor to the dish. In this particular case, I'm going to saute them and extract a lot of the natural flavors and sweetness and let it caramelize to bring out the flavors of the marinade. So I have some neutral oil, just vegetable oil. I'll put it down in the pan, and I'm gonna start with my onions. And my onions are the most resilient to heat. So I'm gonna let them cook down first. They also have the most moisture in them. So I want to let them cook first to let the moisture come out. We will keep an eye on this and incorporate as we go. Now, one thing to know when you are sauteing onions for extraction of flavors, the nice thing to do is called sweating it. And what you do is you take just a tiny bit of kosher salt and just kind of sprinkle it around, maybe just a little bit more. But you're gonna put just enough in there that it causes the liquids from the aromatics to come out. All right, now that you can see that the onions are starting to turn brown a little bit and caramelize due to that sweating process we talked about, we toss it a little bit. And now I'm gonna incorporate my ginger. Put your ginger on in there. It will continue to sweat from the salt that was on the onions from before. And finally, as that all starts to come together, we're gonna add our garlic. Like I said, I'll add the garlic last because it's the most vulnerable to burning. And the other elements that are in there will help protect that garlic and keep it from cooking too quickly and getting burned. All right, so now you can see the onions have mostly browned up. The garlic and the ginger have softened nicely and the flavors have come together. So we're going to now mix this with the rest of our ingredients for the marinade. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this to get it ready to mix with the other components of the marinade. But there's one thing that I want to do that I wanted to show you guys how to do. And I'm not sure if you've had experience in doing this or not, but I find it to be really, really handy way of using every bit of what you've just done in your pan and hang on to every bit of flavor. It's called deglazing. And it's a French technique. It works really, really well, especially if we're doing saute, if you have some stuck bits to the bottom of your pan. And we're gonna be using this VIXEN Red Ale that I mentioned before. I'm gonna use it to actually deglaze the pan. Splash a little bit in there. Mix it out. And this does two things for you. First thing it does, it adds flavor. Second thing it does is it doesn't lose any of the flavor of the aromatics that were stuck in the pan. And the final benefit is it cleans your pan for you. So anything that was sticking there was going to be hard for you to clean. It takes care of it for you. It gets it all loosened up off your pan. It's like a win-win across the board.
Can you use any liquid to deglaze?
You can use any liquid to deglaze. The best ones are going to have acidity or alcohol in them because it actually breaks down the sugars much better. I finished toasting my aromatics that I showed you. I've added my aromatics into the blender. I'm gonna start adding the other ingredients. About 3/4 of a cup of packed down brown sugar, 3/4 of a cup of soy sauce. This will be the main salt element in this marinade. Half a cup of that VIXEN Red Ale that we talked about before. I used a little bit for deglazing, but now another half cup will go into there to help with the flavor. Add 1 cup of Asian pear. This was 1 pear in its entirety, and it filled the cup. It's coming up a little bit higher, but that's okay. Now we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of toasted sesame oil. Always add a little bit of black pepper to things that I think it brings out just a nice finishing flavor. I'd say that's probably a teaspoon, maybe a little more. Just throw it on in there. And here's our final marinade. It smells delicious. Oh, that's gonna taste so good on these ribs. I can't wait. All right, here we have our Korean marinade that we put together. I put it into 2 separate bags, and we have some nice pork from a local Virginia farmer, Springhouse Farms, and they have a store in Hamilton, Virginia. Now this farm is not an official sponsor of this channel, but I really like them. I really like how they treat their animals, and I like the quality of their meats. And like I said before, always support your local farmers, your local breweries, your local wineries, your local establishments. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take this pork and I'm going to put them into the bags, and then we're gonna get them in the refrigerator. Okay, now we have our delicious pork and our Korean marinade, which smells amazing, by the way. All the flavors, the ginger, I can smell it from here even though the bags are closed. I'm gonna put these into 2 grocery bags because it provides protection in the event anything leaks out. One of the things to remember when you're putting it in your fridge, periodically go to your fridge and turn everything over, making sure that the marinade gets a chance to equally participate on both sides of the pork. Okay, so we have our marinated pork here. I brought it out of the fridge. I have saved off the excess juice that we're gonna use later to make a glaze because of all the wonderful flavors that are in there. I'm gonna take this out to my smoker and put it on. All right, we got our smoker here rolling. We got our natural lump charcoal, and we have pecan wood in there. It's about 258 now, but it's okay. The temperature's gonna drop because when we put the cold meat on, it's gonna make the temperature go down. So I wanted to get the temperature up a little bit. As I said before, I like to make the most use of my fuel source. So I have a turkey in here. It's been smoking since this morning. I'm gonna have it for dinner tonight. Meanwhile, I'm gonna put these delicious pieces of pork, lay them right over top of the turkey. Some of them are gonna drip down on the turkey and give it some nice little flavor coating. All right, delicious Korean style pork on the way. Let it sit in the smoker for 4 hours. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna wrap it in tin foil. I'm gonna let it sit for another 2 hours. Then we'll take it off and I'm gonna finish it on the grill with a glaze. Let me talk a little bit about a glaze and why you wanna do it. At the end of your cooking, a lot of the marinade has come off, and you want to do a glaze to coat the outside with a nice sticky texture, a nice sticky concentration of the flavors that the marinade had. It begins to caramelize on the outside and gives such a wonderful flavor. Okay, well what I'm doing here is I'm boiling down the leftover marinade to the bottom of the bag, and that way we don't have anything to worry about with raw contamination. And I'm gonna add a little acidity, maybe some lemon juice, and possibly some honey. I'm also gonna add just a little dash of sesame oil to give it that classic Asian flavor. I'm gonna mix it up and taste. If it needs a little bit more, I'm gonna add a little bit more. Okay, we're at about the 4 hour mark now. I'm gonna go ahead and take these ribs out of the smoker and I'm gonna wrap them in tin foil. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's killer. Ooh, just look at that. This allows the heat to stay contained around the rib, and cooking it low and slow inside the tin foil adds for an extra degree of moisture and tenderness that I like to go for. And then when we finish it on the grill, it'll firm it up nicely on the outside. All right, so I've wrapped up my my Kalbi ribs, and I've left the pork belly by itself without wrapping it up. The pork belly itself has a lot of fat, and that fat's gonna act as its own insulator anyway, and I want that fat to kind of absorb into the meat. This is gonna go in for another 2 hours. So here we are at our smoker once again. Gonna go ahead and take the lid off. Oh boy, look at that. Yeah, oh boy, beautiful. Look at that. Oh, gorgeous. All the caramelization. I'm gonna take these ribs out of the tin foil. Wow. Nice. Perfect for finishing on the grill. Put the lid back on here for the turkey. Now we're gonna go finish with our glaze on the grill. Now, we're gonna bring this inside and garnish it up. We're gonna top it for presentation and for flavor. A little bit of sesame seeds. And then for nice springy color and for tradition's sake, top it with some fresh spring onions. I really do miss Korean barbecue, but you know, you can do your own sort of Korean barbecue in your own backyard. Here we go. See how it turned out. Oh wow. Oh my gosh. This is absolutely amazing. One of the best Korean style experiences that I've had. Everybody, thanks for watching. And I'm sorry to be talking with my mouth full, but I can't stop eating this. Do me a favor. Please like us, please subscribe. Tell everybody about us, and also tell me. Reach out. Let me know if there's anything that I can try for you. Give me some ideas, and I'll see what I can do. See you around.
I just wanted to show a little clip from the day after. We did our pork belly in the smoker and finished it on the grill. I've cut them into strips, and I'm making them into a fried Korean style pork belly. I'm going to serve them with rice and a side of kimchi. Here you have your fresh sliced smoked Korean pork belly, rice, and kimchi. A perfect Korean barbecue meal made at home.
Makes me feel like I'm back at my favorite Korean barbecue restaurant. Really, really good to have at home.